Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, your travel god of extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a cloudy, overcast, bleh, Wednesday, late Wednesday afternoon. We'll call it a Wednesday evening, and it's Wednesday evening, Wednesday night. You know what that means? We got Dynamite coming up in a little over an hour and a half from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. See what happens tonight. Got a pretty decent show. The aftermath of All Out. We got Chris Cakelander, who is the new TBS champion, as she won that fatal four-way with Thekla and Jamie Hayter and Timeless Tony Storm. So her first defense of the TBS title will be tonight, and she faces the Ring of Honor interim women's TV champion, and that's my fourth amazingly hot Asian wife, Mina Shirakawa. Should be a pretty fun match. Mina's probably not going to win, but, we got that. We got Tony Khan's important announcement. I care less what it is. If it's not the women's tag team titles, which is rumored, I don't care what it is. Unless there's something about a Philadelphia residency part 2 in November, or maybe New York at the Hammerstein. We'll have to see what happens with that. So, we'll await Tony Khan's important announcement later on tonight. And I think that's it. That's really all Dynamite's gonna be tonight, as right now we're on the road to Wrestle Dream, coming up in about 3 weeks. From Saturday, should be some interesting stuff as we go into Wrestle Dream. We'll see what's going on with... Hi guys, it's me, Darby. I put my hand behind my other eye because I'm so fucking emo. I meant to do this. I'm so fucking emo, guys. Anyway. So we'll see what happens with Darby Allin and Jon Moxley. See if Moxley still has his flesh after getting burned pretty much like from the waist down at All Out, thanks to Darby. See what more violence they can bring, or what might happen with them, who knows. We got that. Katsuyori Shibata is medically suspended after the vicious beating he got from Danny Garcia. Got a pile driver and then a stomp. And, he hasn't been cleared by the doctors, so Tony Khan has medically suspended him, so he can't fight until he passes the test and gets cleared by the doctors. So that kind of throws a wrench into some plans, maybe with the trios titles. Maybe Hook comes back to the Ops. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that when we move on with that. And the Hangmen still are reigning, defending AEW Men's World Heavyweight Champion. We'll see what happens with him tonight. Brodito still are tag team champions after a hellacious ladder match with Jet Speed, the Bucks, and members of the Don Callis family, Heichiro and Josh Alexander. And Mercedes Moné still 9 belts Moné. So that's pretty much it for that. But thank you for watching the video. Make sure you like the video. Hit the subscribe button down below. Right here on the Peter Joseph channel. I'm Peter Joseph, but you knew that already. But if you didn't know, now you know. So subscribe, hit the bell, turn on all notifications for more. Don't forget to follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you're here for the first time, well, welcome to the party, pal. Grab yourself a nice cold one and sit down! And shut up! And enjoy the show. And that's it. We are 9 subscribers away from 900, my friends. We're getting there. We're getting there pretty quickly now, so thank you for all the subs lately and all the good stuff, on my videos and my shorts and everything. But I think we'll get to 9 probably at the beginning of October. We were about 6 days away from the start of October, so we'll probably get there by maybe the start of October, but hopefully by Halloween, we'll get close to it. I don't think we're going to get close to 1,000 until maybe Thanksgiving, or by the holiday season. I know hopefully we'll get to about 1,000 by the end of the year. That'll be great for this channel purposely. My rant channel, getting up there almost a little over 20 something away from 550. So hopefully we'll get there, and then we'll worry about the other stuff later. But thank you for everybody for subbing, even if you're a douchebag troll with a throwaway account that will probably be gone pretty soon after you know, this will be blocked if you try to leave stupid comments, because I've been doing that a lot. A lot of people have been making stupid comments, so I either delete it or I block it. So, you can't handle it? Too bad. Don't come to my channel anymore. Go to watch somebody else. I personally don't care, but thank you for the view anyway. Asshole. And, that's that. But, to everybody else who has subbed and commented lately, thank you very much. Couldn't have done it without you. Like, couldn't have done it without you asshole trolls too. Because you love me, and you can't get off my dick, so. And you never will, so. But eventually you will, but because I got too much milk to give, you know. I need to give it to other people, if you know what I mean. But I digress on that. Alright, we got Dynamite in an hour and a half. Let's get into it. So I got another video coming your way right after this, and then I'm gonna have a early dinner, and then maybe an early late lunch / early dinner. Then I'm gonna probably have a second dinner after that. But we'll see what happens with that. I'm really tired. I'm feeling like shit. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, really quickly, ladies and gentlemen, on video number 1 on your Wednesday, September the 24th, 2025, it is time for your late, so almost so far out of fucking date, AEW All Out thoughts. You understand? Thoughts. Alright, just some quick thoughts. Not a lot of big video, but we're going to talk about a few things that happened at All Out. So not a big review per se, so we will move on with that. Alright, we are going to, let's take that back. Alright, All Out emanated from the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And our commentators, as always, the man behind the mask, Excalibur, my good buddy, Tony Baloney Schiavone. The biggest Met fan I know. He was really happy yesterday. Hopefully the Mets win today with Jonah Tong on the hill. Not going to be easy because it's Chicago. But we got that, Nolan McLean, in the finale tomorrow night. And then they go to Miami. It's going to be a pain in the ass on Friday. Sandy Alcantara, who whips the Mets' ass, pitching Friday. So, Mets are 1 game up in the wild card over Arizona and the Reds. Reds own the tiebreaker against the Mets. I think the Mets own the tiebreaker against the Diamondbacks. Mets matching number is 5, so I got 5 games left, so I have to win out to clinch. Or, if the Reds or Arizona start faltering over the next 3 games. So, the Mets control their own destiny. And it feels like 2024 all over again. When it came down to the end of the season, they were about to win the division if they swept Atlanta. But they split, so they got the I think the second or third wild card. They faced the Brew Crew, and we all know what happened there. And then destroyed the Filthies, destroyed them in 5 games, sent them home. And then had a good run in the NLCS and just ran out of gas in Game 6. But the way it is right now, the Mets clinch. They face the Dodgers in the wild card round in LA for the first 2 games. I think the third game will be in Citi Field. But we'll see what happens with that. And the winner of that series will face most likely the Filthies in Philadelphia. Probably next weekend. I think the division series the division series starts next weekend, I believe. So we'll see what happens with that. And don't forget, that's on TBS. So Dynamite might be, check your local listings for Dynamite over the next month of October. So because it's gonna be changing between Thursday, probably Tuesdays going head to head with NXT. Maybe Thursday night's going head to head with TNA. Oh. And where the TNA and NXT is going right now, woo, boy. I feel bad for you, Tony Khan. Actually, I don't. But it is what it is. Alright, so let's do some quick dots, you understand, and let's get into it. Moving on. Alright, so we started off with the kickoff show. And we started off with the Ops against the Workhorsemen. J.D. Drink and say his name, and he appears. I believe in Anthony Henry. Yes. Well, wasn't a good night for the Workhorsemen as the Ops destroy them pretty easily as Samoa Joe locked in a coquina clutch on J.D. Drake after J.D. tried to drop kick, and Joe was like, he just walked away. No! Nope. I love when he does that, but it is what it is. So, quick almost 5.5 minute match, and the Ops get the win in a boringest buck match that should have never even been on a pay-per-view. Or maybe it was good that's on a pay-per-view. Get it out of the way, not on Dynamite or Collision or whatever. Alright, then we get to Shibata and Garcia. Like I said, Garcia won with a Gotch-style pile driver and a curb stomp in under 15 minutes. And like I mentioned before, Shibata is now medically suspended per Tony Khan. So until he passes those tests, he'll come back on the roster. But those trios titles are now kind of in limbo. Not that they get defended much, but I mean, we'll see what happens with that. And we move on. I didn't even know this was on the pre-show, because I didn't see the pre-show. Alright, so we had another tag team match. We had Hologram, actually a 6-man tag team match. Hologram, the man who's undefeated, teaming up with the Paragon of Kyle O'Reilly, Auto Parts, and Roderick Strong, taking on the Frat House, bunch of idiots. Preston Vance is in that group, I don't know why, but I digress. Basically, Hologram and the Paragon get the win after Hologram hits a big flippy doo and then a top rope double stomp on Garrison, and they get the win in a little over 3 minutes. Well, 2 minutes more than 3:16 or Stone Cold time. Stone Cold! So they get that, didn't care. Alright, then we get to that 8-woman tailgate brawl with Team Willow Nightingale, the Western Fun Girl. Bam! She teams up with the one and only Queen Aminata, my fourth amazingly hot Asian wife, Mina Shirakawa, and Hardy Cameron, the cat lady. They take on the Triangle Madness, Sky Blue, and my girl Julia Hart, Penelope Ford, and the Megan Bain in a tornado tailgate brawl. Violence and, no blood, obviously, but it was violent. But in the end, Team Willow Nightingale gets the win after the Triangle Madness is put in a barbecue grill. Throw the ship on the barbie, leaving Penelope Ford to get caught by Willow with the power bomb. 1, 2, 3 in exactly 11.5 minutes. This was actually the match of the pay-per-view. The pre-show. So you get that. So not that great of a pre-show. And like I said, did not watch it. Didn't care. Alright, so then we go to the main show. We have Bryan Danielson, Fraggleson, Commentatorson. Yes! Who lies through his teeth, son. So we have him on commentary. Alright, there we see, hey kids, it's Edge and Christian! They arrive and run into some Toronto Maple Leaf legends in their own mind, and a guy in a messed up mask with a makeshift title belt named the Green Bastard. He's from Trailer Park Boys. You know, I think it was Dewey or something like that. Yeah, and he's supposedly now all elite. Why are we signing all these people that we don't know? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Fuck out of here. That's it. Alright, then we saw it with our first match of the night. FTR, fuck the Revival, We have Dax the Axe Hardwood and his broken nose, and Cash has got a clock! Wheeler taking on Threshold, Edge, whatever you want to call him, and Christian, and a dream match. The fans like, oh, fuck the revival! Good shit. Cage bites Cash Wheeler in the corner. The fans sing about wanting Cage to be their asshole or some shit. I'm like, fucking Canadians. It is what it is. Stokely has to offer an assist for the save later on in the match. We're getting near the end. If I can. And a bell to the head. Ow. Before that, Beth fucking Phoenix comes out, drops Stokely with a spear, and then she, like, picks him up, takes him to the back. Fuck him. No, I'm kidding. And a bell to the head, a spike power driver gets a near fall on Edge, but he comes right back with a pair of impalers. But FTR come back with a shatter machine for a near fall. As the kick goes, or like, 1, 2, 1, 2, this is awesome! Not you, Mike. You're awesome, I know that. I know! Don't remember, just remember that! Okay. Go away. Bye! Okay. Thank you, Mike. Anyway. Alright, so they load up another shatter machine. It connects, and then Edge staggers up for a spear to Cash Wheeler, who got a clock for the pin in 18 minutes as Christian cuts Dax off. So, Edge and Christian get the win in their hometown. You'd love to see it. But then afterwards, there wasn't a happy recap. It wasn't a happy celebration as Nick Wayne and Nick Wayne's mom has got it going on. Yes! They come out for those distractions, which allows Kip Sabian to come out. And then FTR jumps Edge and Christian from behind. They handcuff Edge to the ring ropes. And they hit a spike power driver on Christian. And then Beth fucking Phoenix comes out, kisses her husband, probably for the last time, and then she gets caught, and boom, spike power driver, and then Edge is like, no! It's like Tommy Dreamer when Bueller McGillicuddy got her neck broken by the Dudley Boys in ECW, which led to that great song by, I think it was by, who sings River of the Sea? Was it Mad Season? I think it was Mad Season, that super group. It was Mad Season. I could be wrong on that, but pretty sure it's Mad Season. I gotta look it up. But River of the Sea, great song, and that led to the Dudleys and I think against I think it was a Sandman and Tommy Dreamer. That blood feud was just insane. Insane. Yeah. I cried when freaking Bueller got her neck broken. I felt bad for Tommy. So that whole thing with Raven, and then when Bueller was with Raven, that whole thing where she was supposedly pregnant, and then Stevie Rich's daughter was his kid. Is like, it's not yours, Stevie. And then Raven's like, you're supposed to take a pill. It's like, it says 28 days, 1 pill a day. What are you, fucking dumb? And then Bueller's like, what do you care? It's not yours. And everyone's like, oh shit. And then everyone knew it was Tommy's. And then that whole thing with Tommy and Raven just was great. And finally, Tommy beat Raven in a loser leaves ECW match. And Raven go bye-bye. He went to, I think he went to, no, he was in WCW before. I think he went to WCW first. Then he went to WWE. Then he came back to ECW to be tag team champs with Tommy, which was like, what? And they won it at the Elks Lodge, and I was there. Holy shit. I was like, what? What are you doing here? Even Francine was like, what? What? Anyway, moving on. So Nick Wayne and his mom come out, Kip Sabian and everybody, they beat up Edge and Christian, and they give Beth fucking Phoenix a spike power driver, probably breaking her neck. And that's it. So we'll see what happens tonight on the program, and we move on. Alright, match number 2, Big Cass takes on the returning, and yes, he did return, Eddie Kingston, the man from the Bronx, who had a shirt on that said, Claudio sucks eggs. He really hates Claudio. Ever since the CCW Ring of Honor days. Oh. He really hates that guy. I'm like, get over it already. Sorry, my eyes are killing me today. Anyway, it was a pretty decent match. Brian Keith at ringside, the Bad Apple. Quick 7.5-minute match. Eddie hits a spinning back fist for a 1 count. Barely hit him. Oh, no, the second one, I think, yeah. The second one barely hit him. And then he just fell on Big Cass. 1, 2, 3. Not so much a botch, per se, but Eddie got the win in a not-so-great match. And then afterwards, Brian Keith comes in for a beatdown, but then they send for the man. Look, it's your signal. Hook, get in here with your Doritos. Hook, ladies and gentlemen, is here. Hook comes out and helps Eddie Kingston, so now they're a little bit of a New York connection. Because, you know, Hook is from Red Hook, brother. And then you got Eddie Kingston from the Bronx. So see what happens with that situation, and we move on. Alright, match number 3, a tables and thumbtacks match. Oh, this was violent. Between the funky chicken himself, Mark Briscoe, reach for the sky, Jay Briscoe! He takes on Maxwell Jacob Fart Knocker and a white collar t-shirt. Well, this was crazy as shit, as Jay would say. Froggy Bow says something, Jay Driller on the tacks. Jay was busted, not Jay, sorry, Mark was busted wide open. Thumbtacks in the mouth. He ripped off his shirt, and thumbtacks in the back. It was like, ugh! And then Max got it in his head, and he was getting beat up. He was busted wide open, but they go through the tables and everything, and eventually, in 19.5 minutes, we get a tombstone on the tax for near fall, as MJF really wanted to put Mark away. So Max puts a table in the ring, pours some tacks on top of it. They go up top, Mark knocks him down, puts him through the table with tacks. Ow! Then for added incentive, a Froggy Boo connects as well on the remnants of the table. Then more tacks get put around, and then Mark hits the J Driller on the tacks to finish MJF off in 19.5 minutes. So Mark finally gets a big win. He beats MJF. And now, well, I guess now he's going on to the rest of the Don Callis. Well, not going to rest. He's going to go on to the Don Callis family and try to deal with Don Callis. Which I think is retarded, but whatever. And now, well, I guess Alicia Toot, now you could probably go on your honeymoon, get fucked in the ass, and by his tiny pickled dick, and have fun in whatever you're going on in your honeymoon. But it is what it is, but she should have married somebody else, not me, but Alicia Atute is a nice lady, but I digress. But she deserves somebody with a large dick. I'm just saying. Moving on. Alright, then we go to early in the week where Jerry Lynn, he was trying to get Max Caster and Anthony Bowens back together as the Acclaimed, and they don't want a team, but then, Jerry's like, well, I'm gonna suspend you if you don't team up together. And Max is like, I don't care. Max Caster and Andy Bowens like, fuck! That's that. Alright, match number 4, the Gates of Agony and Ricochet, taking on the Hurt Syndicate of MVP, Bobby Lashley, and Shelty Baby, Shelton Benjamin. We hurt people, like the prophecy does, we hurt people. Well, they didn't hurt the Gates of Agony and Ricochet, as the Gates of Agony and Ricochet get the win. As we get to the end, everything breaks down. And we get big, beefy men slapping meat in that ring. Bobby Lashley and Toa Leona, like we saw from last week's, from Dynamite and Collision last week, but September to Remember, which was September to Forget. But it's quickly back to Shelty Baby, sending Ricochet flying. And then Shelty German suplexes Bishop. Quan! I know not Quan! And Ricochet at the same time that looked a little bit scary because it looked like Ricochet took the worst of that. And then Bobby with a spear cutting Bishop Quan down, and then Ricochet has to make the save with a springboard 450, and then Bishop Quan does a backstabber, ouch, into a running elbow strike. And then, 6 men are down. Shelty Baby hits a step-up knee on the floor, only for Ricochet to hit a big running flippy dibbity-doo over the ring post to take Shelty Baby down as well. Tony Leona is set into Bobby Lashley and Shelton, but MVP suplexes Ricochet anyway. Goes on a playmaker, gets broken up with a chop block to that bad leg of MVP's, and then Ricochet fires up the spinning gun! Bang! 1, 2, 3, Ricochet and the Gates of Agony get the win in under 14 minutes. It was a pretty decent match. And that's that. The Mark MJF bloody TNT match was just crazy as shit. Alright, then we get to the TBS title. We have 9 belts. Monet, the CEO, take it on. Her name is Rio, and she dances on my lap. And when she's done, she goes and takes a nap. Yeah, wee-hoo. So Mercedes versus wee-hoo, and pretty good match. I love when Rio is doing the CEO dance, and the fans like Rio, and he's like da da da. I know a certain somebody that has Rio as his waifu, was pretty, happy about that. You boy bastard. I'm wearing glasses, but I look good. But I digress. Alright, match was pretty good. Mercedes with the Eddie Guerrero, Three Amigos. You like that, Eddie? Oh, I love when Mercedes does that, but not as good as me, though. I know, Eddie. You're the champ. Well, you're the best. You're the champ too. I know I am. You trying to be funny? No, Eddie. I'm just not with it today. I'm sorry. Well, I hope you feel better, Essie. Drink some sangria with China. Oh, you let me drink with China now? Really? You can't have my mamacita. No. She's too busy anyway. So hang out with Mikey boy. Just chill with him. I don't like that guy, ese pero. Just stop it. Just say hi and then leave. I'll worry about what happens after. All right. Yeah, moving on. Alright, so she hits the Three Amigos because we need another Eddie Guerrero. Can't get enough Eddie Guerrero. Then she hits the Eddie Guerrero frog splash, which makes Eddie always happy, even though he does it better. That got raised knees, and then wee-hoo, hits the top rope double stomp for a near fall. Mercedes' ribs still bleh after that. Mercedes comes back with a running knees in the corner, but then wee-hoo, ties up the legs again, and the leg is grabbed for the escape, so wee-hoo, switches to a Northern Light suplex for a near fall, but Mercedes comes right back with the Roddy Piper poke the eyes into the Money Maker. 1, 2, 3 to retain the belt. What are you gonna do? Everybody was hoping Rio would win, but no, Rio's going back to Japan. We probably won't see her until next year, so Happy New Year, Rio! Ta-da! And we move on. Alright, 16-minute match, and that's it. That's it. Alright, then we go to the Unified title, the Continental, Intercontinental Merge title. We have the champ, Okada! Kazuchika Okada takes on Kensuke Takeshita. Man, the guy that should not be in this match, Mascara Dorada, but this match was actually great. What? This was great. Lots of flippy-dippity-doos. They go to the floor. They bring back in. Excalibur runs of Dorada can defeat the greatest tournament wrestler of all time. Nope. So anyway, we get into the end. 21-minute match. Wow. So we're going to exchange the suplexes, put both men down. Dorada, and I think it was Takeshita. Dorada moonsaults to both of them with Okada for near fall. Takeshita comes right back with the last ride. Circa Undertaker. Like, American Badass Taker. But Okada blocks a knee lift. They get back up to catch the German suplexes, both of them at the same time, but Mascara Dorada manages to stick the landing. It was perfect. 10. A Hurricanrana gets a near fall on the catch and a DDT puts Kazuchika Okada down on the apron. Back in, Takeshita gives Mascara Dorada raging fire. He's about to win the title, but Okada made the save. Hits the Rainmaker on Mascara Dorada. 1, 2, 3 to retain the belt. And Takeshita was pissed. And Don Callis like, oh, what am I supposed to do? So we'll see what happens tonight with those. But this was clearly one of the matches of the night. Our next match was pure violence. We got the coffin match between John Moxley and hi guys, it's me again, Joby. Get out of here. Get out of here. Asshole. Freaking emo fuck. Anyway, moving on. Alright, this match was all over the place. They started in the crowd. Darby hits a coffin drop from like the balcony. Crazy fucking landings and stuff. With a crash landing on the puts Darby in the coffin. It was sick. And then Claudio, William Yuta, and Reina Shafir come out. Moxley's already busted wide open. You can't have a Moxley match without blood. And then Darby was bleeding a little bit as Darby twists his fingers around and hits a coffin drop before finding a pipe. And Darby's going after Moxley's ear and there's like gushing blood over his chest, like And Darby hits him with a pipe, whips out a plastic bag to choke Moxley out, and then everybody's like, because he went over to Bryan Danielson, who he told not to get involved, and then Bryan gives him like a duffel bag, and he has like a plastic bag in it, and freaking X-Con was like, hey, I thought you weren't getting involved. They're like, I didn't get involved. Right, you fucking lying Danielson. Fraggleson. Anyway. So fans again, this is murder! And then, out of nowhere, the bastard Pac returns, and he tosses Razor's Edge over the top onto another coffin. Ow. Puts Darby down, and Pac puts Darby in the body bag. Darby is put in the coffin by Pac, and then Moxley slams the coffin lid to win the match in a little over 19 minutes. So Darby loses his first ever coffin match. Not first ever. His first coffin match, because he's won the last 4, I believe. So, violent match. Sick at times, but it is what it is. And what's that? Alright, then we go to the back. We have Mark Briscoe and a conglomeration. They're happy with their wins. So, Mark issues a 6-man tag team match on Dynamite to the Don Callis family. And then we see Kyle O'Reilly on the phone talking to somebody, and Mark's like, is he ready to come back? I'm like, what are you talking about? And Kyle's like, whatever. Now we know who says that, and that's freshly squeezed orange juice, Orange Cassidy. So Orange Cassidy will make his return tonight in that 6-man tag team match. Let's see what happens with that. Let me move on. Alright, then we go to the AEW Women's Championship match between Timeless Tony Storm, darling! Bosom! Takes on Dekla, Chris Cakelander, and Jamie Hayter. Pretty good match. Crazy ending that nobody saw coming, with Chris Cakelander pinning Tony Storm, and gets the win in 12 exact minutes. Nobody saw that coming. I thought that Tony was going to regain the belt. And now that Tony won the belt, and she took a picture with Mina after the show, and the rumored TK announcement tonight of possibly the women's tag team belts finally being shown, or at least talk about it. So maybe you're going to have one of those TonyCon specials where we have all these women's tag teams coming up, whatever's left of them. And the winner gets the, I assume the winner would be at Wrestle Dream to get the women's tag team belts. Now, if they get defended a lot, that'd be great. But knowing Tony Khan, they probably won't be defended for a year. So, I mean, if it's the women's tag team belts, I'm happy, but if not, I don't give a fuck what he says. And that's that. Alright, then we go to the semi-main event. Tag team title match, ladder match. Brody King, and Bandito taking on the Young Bucks. Nick Jackson. He chased along Josh Alexander and Jet Speed of Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight. This was a hellacious match. Lots of ladders used. Bucks almost won the match at certain points. But in the end, the Bucks had the belt, but they had to come down as Josh Alexander pulled Brody King down for a big crash. Kevin Knight goes up again, so a bunch of people pick up the ladder and carry him over to the ropes for a crash through both tables. Damn. Then the Bucks hit the BTE trigger. I forget on who. They go up until Brody King turns the ladder over. Ow. Then he hands the ladder to Bandito to flip onto a pile of everybody, basically, which let Brody King, by himself, goes up the ladder and takes down both belts to retain the title in a little over 24 and a half minutes. Match was pretty good, and that's that. But what happened afterwards, that was talked about as everybody with the Bucks leave, and then out of nowhere, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, he comes back, and the Bucks like, hey, what are you doing? Why did you not pick up your phone? And they're about to hug him, and then Jack Perry's like, no, fuck you guys. And then, takes out, Rocky Romero for some odd reason, and then gets super kicked by both of the Bucks. They're about to hit the BTE trigger on Jack Perry, then the lights go out, and we see that video of a car going to the arena, and then we see somebody injecting somebody, and we saw that when Luchasaurus came back. So Luchasaurus wakes up, and then the lights come back on, Luchasaurus comes out, and him and Jack Perry beat the fuck out of the Young Bucks, and then, Killswitch takes his belt off, throws it into the crowd, and then he hugs Jack Perry. Jurassic Express is back, and there's a rumor that little runt, that 3'4" tall Marco Stunt might come back. I hope not. But it was great to see that great song. Oh, I can't wait to hear that tonight. We'll see what happens with that. But great ladder match. I was hoping the Bucks would get the belts back just because. But Brodito continues as the champs, and that's it. Alright, then there's a disturbance in the back where the Death Riders are leaving except for Mox. And then Darby gets out of the coffin, beats the fuck out of Mox with a pipe. Then he puts him in a body bag. And then he about to hit Moxley in the head with the pipe. But then he changes into, he says, nope, not gonna do that. He takes some, spray paint or maybe lighter fluid in a can, starts spraying the body bag, then sets it on fire from the legs down, and Mox's like, ah, on fire! And then, the stupid people that were off to the side, like, oh, shh! And then two security guards take out Darby. So we'll see what happens with that tonight. If Moxley still has his freaking legs or anything on flesh. Holy shit. But we get that. Alright, then we find out that Tony Khan has that big announcement on Dynamite. Like I said, if it's not the women's tag team titles, I don't care. We get that. Alright, then we get to our main event of the evening for the AEW Men's World title. The Hangman, Adam Page, about to do some cowboy shit. Takes on the TNT champion Kyle Fletcher. Don Callis and everybody from the Don Callis family is barred from ringside because they get involved. Hangman wins the match, and Kyle Fletcher gets stripped of the belt. Don Callis stayed at ringside, but was on commentary, so if he gets out, he gets involved, he bucks up his little protege's title reign. Alright, the lights go blue for some odd reason. I'm blue, da-ba-dee, da-ba-doo, da-ba-dee, da-ba-doo. Okay. This match was very long, and the whole pay-per-view went right into the first hour of WrestlePalooza. I think it's like a 4.5 hour pay-per-view. So this match was great, but like I said, way too long. It was way too long. I think went 38 minutes. Well, we're getting in the end. Paige gets back up with a V-trigger, but the one-winged angel gets broken up. But instead, Hangman hits a Deadeye for a near fall. Then he plans him for another one for another near fall. Goes to the buckshot layer, gets countered into a brain buster for another near fall. We got Don Callis and Brian Fraggles and Danielson commentators and losing it on commentary. And with nothing else working for Fletcher, he pulls off the turnbuckle pad. Oh, that might not work. Takes Paige into the corner. Then he goes for a super brain buster on the exposed turnbuckle that gets blocked. Then we get a super Deadeye. Ow. Into the buckshot lariat, and Adam Page gets the win. 1, 2, 3. He retains the AEW World Title in, like I said, 38 minutes. Very good match. And that's pretty much it. Alright guys, I am out of here. I'm going to do a quick NXT review right here on the channel. So, stay tuned. And then after Dynamite, we'll talk a little bit about Raw. And then tomorrow, we'll talk about TNA and Ring of Honor. And some other good stuff, hopefully, as we lean into TNA Ring of Honor for this week. TNA's go-home show before Victory Road tomorrow. Masha will not be on that. TNA took her off of Victory Road because they're still investigating that whole domestic violence, domestic abuse case with her and Akira. It doesn't look good for Masha. Not looking good. I think TNA might fire her, and we don't know where Masha's going to go. I feel bad for her, man. I really do. I think she's going to go probably, if she does get fired by TNA or, anything, released or something like that, I bet you nothing we're going to probably see her on the indies again. I don't think she'll be in any major promotion like WWE, or she goes to AEW / Ring of Honor or goes to Japan. Not saying she fucked her career, but I think she should have handled that whole situation differently. But that's just me. But, we'll see what happens with that. Alright, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. And until next time, if you're not down with that, well, I got 3 words for you. Fuck you, man! That's it. Until next time. Peace.